Well, when they're not together, how do they still communicate with one another? How can you actually develop something where the relationship between these board members or between board members and shareholders can actually continue in between these board meetings? I think that's something, as I was saying, so hard when you unplug yourself from a meeting and you replug yourself in later on to keep that momentum going.
Making sure that everybody has the same level of information, that's why you usually do and send the documentation ahead of time, but also the same level of information of what's happening in the market, what are the trends, the articles. You see some disconnects that might create some confusion during the board meetings, where you want people to be very aligned about what's happening, what's the trends.
I think there is a lot of communications between board members and managers that are running the company. And it's very asymmetrical, right? And it's also, timing-wise, it's also very async. And it's actually something that is very complicated, especially when you're raising new capital and you have to build these data rooms and you have to find all of the information that you've already exchanged. And it's something that new investors look into a lot, right? They ask, one of the first things they ask is, can I have the board minutes? Can I have your board presentation decks? Can I have all the information? And I think it's a bit of a trouble.
C'est un challenge d'avoir un board efficace. Il y a plein de, il y a plein de challenges par rapport à cette vision un peu idéale que je t'évoque.
They've probably very often been designed from a compliance and an IT security perspective. And that's fine, you absolutely want it, but there must be more. There must be more, and I know that some of these platforms are developing more and more capabilities, but not sure they're always that user-friendly. I'm sure if people of your age would get into that and say, how the heck, this looks like a 20th century tool. Yeah, that is. Effectively,
it is.
There is probably room to become, as you were mentioning, more agile, more user-friendly, more intuitive.
But effortless.
Yeah, effortless. I mean, it's already complicated enough to work on something. If you need to access it and you can't do that easily, that's already, so much time lost.
Usually a board member wants to do everything at once, so when he prepares, he receives the board pack, let's say a week ahead of time if everything goes well. And then if he then can go through the relevant snippets or the relevant elements to give him a better context, all in one place, I think also review maybe also all that would, I think for most board members add a lot of value, because for us as founders or as executives, we have all this context, but we need to also respect or appreciate the fact that some board members are not at all in our sector or are not at all in a B2B SaaS environment.
Mettez sur pied un outil qui contribue à ce fonctionnement sain et efficient du board, en partageant les meilleures pratiques et en étant très attentif, au-delà des considérations administratives, mais aux aspects de gouvernance, parce que c'est vraiment un sujet où il y a vraiment beaucoup de valeur à créer.
And what you want is you want to have a solid company with who you have good relationships, because the board, so typically a board meets between 4 to 12 times or 10 times per year, but actually you see your board much more often. I have much more discussions with the board outside of the boards than during the boards, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty important to say.
That's super important.
Yes.
And that's actually, when you have a good relationship, is when you can go to your board members as advisors outside of the board meetings themselves.